can draw our birds any shape or size we like, and it doesn't matter how brilliant we draw circles or how badly we draw circles. We can do funny little egg shapes. We could do a squash triangle. We could even do whatever that is. Doesn't matter. So the next thing we're going to do, now we've got our 4 bird bodies, are beaks. Well, I think this guy is going to have a little pointy beak. And this guy looks like he might have quite a long pointy beak like that. And it doesn't matter if you put the beak at the bottom or at the top. Wherever you put it, it's going to add some personality to it. And the last one. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is add the legs. Now I like to put silly long legs on my birds. Sometimes I do trousers. They look a bit like that. So it's like a triangle with a stick coming out. And then they have funny little toes at the end. And this guy, I'm going to give him a tail. It's going to be a curly whirly one, just because that's fun to draw. This one looks like it might have knock knees, so we're going to give it wide legs and some squiggles on the knees. And his tail is going to hang down a little, because he looks like he's looking up at the sky there. This guy, I feel, could have fat legs and then stick legs, because it kind of looks funny, right? And this fellow is going to have wobbly legs, because it doesn't matter if these are perfect lines or not. In fact, the less perfect they are, the funnier they look. So it's going to have very big tail feathers. And this one's going to have just a little tail. And maybe a little wing. And I think this one, maybe this one needs a wing. Okay, so eyes. Oh, sounds like the trash men are here. I'm going to give this one an eyebrow. And this one's going to have a tiny eye right there. This one's going to have like a big googly eye. And this one, I'm going to put the eye really far up on her head like that. And maybe a little eyebrow. Okay, I think that looks fairly good for now. So the next thing we're going to do is the fun bit. We're going to colour. And I've lost my... Oh, here we go. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is colour this one. I'm going to take the Crayola pen and I'm just going to give it a line of colour up there. And then I'm going to show you a trick. So I'm going to take my brush, I'm just going to take some of the water off, and then I'm going to put it right on where I coloured with the pen. See what's happening here? The ink is spreading out and it's giving it a watery watercolour effect. Isn't that nice? Now I can take an orange. I think this one works better. And do orange on the other side. Doesn't matter if I go out of the lines. I can turn my paper and I can do the same thing on the other side. See that the ink is coming out there? And I can bring it all into the middle. And what this does is it makes our birds look a little rounder than if we just colour them flat. Plus it shows another way to use your markers. Okay, I like that. And I think her tail feathers, I'm going to go with this purple right here. So I'm going to take the purple, I'm going to put it on here to water it down. So a little water, a little paint, and then very carefully just paint in the tail. Okay, now that looks fine, but I want some orange in there. So I'm going to take this orange, I'm going to make a puddle right there. I'm going to just drop some orange into the tail randomly and let it spread and do its own thing. See how pretty that looks? Okay, now my next bird, let's go ahead and make a blue one. So I'm going to go with this, make a puddle. This time, I'm going to just dry my brush, cleaned it, tap off the water. Right, just a little bit of water, just touch it to your paper, just so it's not too wet. And I'm going to just paint water onto this bird body. Okay, you don't want it too wet. Now I'm going to pick up my blue paint. I'm just going to drop it into the wet puddle. See how it spreads? Isn't that fun? Doesn't matter if I go over the eye, doesn't matter if I go out of the lines. Just adds character. Okay, so now I'm going to use this darker purple. I'm just going to go from the bottom and let it spread up. See how that mingles? It just does its own thing. I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm just going to swoosh it around in the middle. And let the colours mix. And it's a little bit paler in the middle, which gives it that rounder look. Okay. Right, what colour should we do the next one? How about red? So I'm going to make... Oh, I can see we just forgot that tail. So I'm going to put my paint on and we'll come back for that. I'm just going to paint halfway down the body. And I'm going to take the marker. I'll colour a little. Oh, look at that. See how that's called a bloom right there, and that's called a bloom because I'm adding water to the marker ink and it's flowing into the bird body. And it makes it look quite interesting, I think. Let's give him some pants. Let's drop a little red into the pants there. Wow, that one worked out quite well. Okay, back to his tail. Well, let's go ahead and make his tail blue. With a little purple, just for fun. And red. I feel red. See, look at these dark, lovely colours we're getting with these kids' paints. These are nice little paint sets. drop a little orange at the top, but I'm going to use the paint this time instead of the pen because it's really wet. And I don't really want to drag too much ink out of the pen and ruin the pens. Okay, we've got one more bird and I think we need green. So let's go ahead and mix some green. I'm going to go with the darker colour at the bottom this time. What's that? It's a little blue. And then this pretty apple green. Is that what that is? Add a little bit more water to drag it out and let the colours mix a little. I always put a little more paint on if it's necessary. And I'm going to pull that out into its tail. Okay, so now we have beaks. And I think I'm just going to paint them all this yellow. But that yellow is a little too bright. So I'm going to take some of this orange and mix it. So if you don't like a colour, you can mix them together. Just don't mix them in the wells. Mix them over here. This is your paint palette. And that's what it's meant for. Oh yeah, that's a good beak colour. Now, it doesn't matter if paint from your bird's body seeps into this area because it just adds some character to them. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Oh look, I forgot to give them pants. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is add some shadow under the bird. So I'm going to take this black marker that's running out. I'm just going to do this. See how it doesn't look too good right now, but when I add some water, it turns into a really great little shadow. See, now it looks like the bird is standing on the floor. And you could try and make it a roughly the same shape as what you think your bird looks like. That cough is my husband Rob. He's got to work at home like lots of people at the moment. Okay, that's the last shadow. Right, see, even though a pen is running out, there's hardly any ink in it, it's still valuable. Still has some life left in it. Okay, so this bit is probably my favourite bit. I'm going to take our brush. It's going to be a little wet. I'm going to pick up some of these puddles. I'm going to take a pen. I'm going to hold our brush quite close, and then we're going to gently tap to get some splatters. Now, I don't want to put too many splatters on because we don't want to hide our birds. But it just looks fun. Oh, I mixed some paint there, I didn't mean to do that. But look, it's okay. Okay, and there we are. Some happy little birds. Oh, forgot to paint their eyes. They won't be too happy if they can't see, right? Right, I'm going to mix a black from this I don't know if that is supposed to be black or if it's brown, but I'm going to take that. Oh, that's definitely brown. I'm just going to mix all the dark colours until I find the right one. Oh, there we go, that purple and that brown. If we keep going, we will get a black. There it is. So let's just very carefully pop some black in. Oh, this guy needs an eyebrow. What kind of eyebrow? I think maybe this colour. Now you can colour these birds in with your pencils. You can use your crayon.